We're looking at a question about a rocket that's shot into the air from the roof of a building. Okay, we're given the equation. Let's just talk about what the equation tells us about this rocket, about this parabola. Is this equation written in standard form? Is it written in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c? Okay, so what's a? What's the a value? What's the c value? Positive 5. What does a tell us then if it's a negative? It's going to open up or down? Down. Is it going to be stretched or compressed? We know that it's going to have a, what does c tell you? What does that represent? The y-intercept. It's going to have a y-intercept of 5, which means the parabola might look something like this. Okay, that was poorly drawn, but which means in this question, the rocket's shot into the air from a roof of a building. Well, how high is the roof of the building then? How high off the ground is the building? What's my y-intercept? What's this point? So the roof of the building is actually 5 meters above the ground. That's where it's shot from. And it's shot, goes up, and comes down. So we're only going to be looking at part of the parabola. You can extend this onto the other side, but what is the relationship here? What are we relating? We're relating time and what's h? Height of the rocket. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a relationship between time and height in meters, time in seconds, right? Time in seconds, height in meters. Is it seconds or minutes? Seconds. Why would it not make sense in this question to look at any values that would be over here on the left side? Okay, because we're looking at time, well, it wouldn't make sense to look over here because those are negative values. You can't go back in time. There's no such thing as a negative 5 seconds. So we're going to need the first one. When time is nothing, the height is 5 because it starts at a height of 5 meters, which is the height of the building. When 1 second passes, how high does the rocket go? How many meters? This is seconds. It goes 35 meters. Good. Okay, so we're going to answer all these questions without graphing it. The first question says, determine the greatest height reached by the rocket. We know that the highest point is going to be somewhere between these 2 points, correct? 65 and 65, they have the same y value, which means that's not the highest point. It's going to go a little higher than 65 because it goes up, the parabola goes up, 65, and then it keeps going up, and then it has to come back down. So 65 again, right? It's parabola symmetrical. We have to figure out the highest point that it reaches. Where is the highest point located? What part of the parabola? It's going to be located at the vertex, the tip of the parabola, right? We need to find the coordinates of the vertex. We know that the vertex has the axis of symmetry in common, right? The axis of symmetry passes through the vertex. So let's find, I'm going to call it AOS just for short. Let's find the axis of symmetry. So we're going to pick any 2 points that have the same y coordinate. Why don't we use these ones since I already highlighted them? Okay. The x value of the vertex is going to be located between which 2 numbers? The x value, right? My x value is time. Located between 3 and 4. So midpoint of your x values, when the y values are the same, 3 plus 4, 7 divided by 2, 3.5. The axis of symmetry is located at 3.5. So now that we know the x value of the vertex, which is 3.5, let's find the y value using the equation given. So you're plugging in your x value of the vertex for time. So when time is when 3.5 seconds have passed, we're going to figure out the highest point of the rocket because the vertex is the highest point. It's the greatest y value. All this. H equals 66.25, which means that what's the greatest height reached by the rocket? Meters. Okay? And when does it hit the greatest height? When does it reach the greatest height? After how many seconds? 3.5 seconds, good. And if we look at our table, does this make sense? 66.25 is just above 65, right? So how long is the rocket in flight? So when does the rocket reach the ground? Well, at 7 seconds, how high is it from the ground? 5 meters from the ground. At 8 seconds, how far is it from the ground? Negative 35. What does that negative mean? It's below the ground, which is not possible. It's not going to go under the ground. So how long is it in flight for? Approximately between 7 and 8 seconds.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.